So there's been a lot of talk, Derek, about more relegation places in the Lowland League. I think we've had a wee chat about this before, but through Twitter, a lot of people are in favour of maybe seeing a few more East of Scotland teams having the chance to come up to the Lowland League. What are your thoughts? Is one relegation spot in the Lowland League enough?
Not for me. I think we need to get to a space where it's going to be 2 up, 2 down, because there's so much talent now below the Lowland. It just feels like the right way to go is to allow a wee bit more traffic, and especially we can't have the same argument on the one hand saying that our champion should have a chance at automatic promotion, but rather than playing the bottom side in League 2, and then not practice what we preach at the other end. But the reality of it though is quite tough to change that, because right now we're in a position where the East of Scotland Premier League and the South of Scotland League are on level pegging, they're on parity.
Yep.
So if you go to 2 automatic relegation spots, you're still only going to get 1 East of Scotland team up every year.
Yep.
That's not going to change. But you're going to get 1 South of Scotland team up every year as well. So I think the flip side to the normal argument, which I kind of side with, in that there needs to be more traffic, more promotion, more relegation, you need to get that South of Scotland League bulked out a bit with West of Scotland teams, in my opinion. And that is where, when it looked like the juniors were coming on board into the pyramid, that would have filled the gap beautifully. That's got now all gone stagnant. There's been no word for Tom Johnson or the Scottish juniors of late on what their plans are to get their leagues into the pyramid. So we're still looking for a bit of guidance for Ian Maxwell at the SFA, who's meant to be leading the process. But yeah, I think long term, as soon as we've built up that second feeder to be as strong as the East of Scotland, it's a no-brainer. 2 up, 2 down.
It's one of the things we talked about, but obviously there is a wee bit of a divide, even in the Lowland League, where I think it's the southern teams, not South of Scotland, but the southern teams, region, just based on region, that tend to struggle a wee bit more than the Lothian sides, the western sides, the Kelty, the Fife side. We've had one playoff since it's been introduced. Stranraer Reserves won South of Scotland last season. I wouldn't want an automatic for a South of Scotland team if they're going to just struggle and then go straight back down. It's not going to strengthen the league. There was talk. It was an interesting chat about maybe having the champions of the South of Scotland versus the runner-up of the East of Scotland, and the East of Scotland champions versus the runner-up of South of Scotland. But I think a lot of people forget that Lowland League has to look at licensing. They don't have to worry about that in the leagues below us.
Yeah.
There is a fair amount of East of Scotland teams that are challenging, that are licensed or getting licensed now. But we have to be fair on the 2 feeder leagues below us and try and make it as fair as possible. And I think the playoff between the South of Scotland and East of Scotland at the moment is the fairest way, despite it not happening so far every season.
Yeah, the other issue you've got, like you mentioned, that idea has been floated of the winners of the South of Scotland against second place in the East. That undermines the integrity of the structure.
Exactly, yeah.
Because if you're saying the South of Scotland is on the same level as the East of Scotland Premier, forget about the level of clubs in it. You need to give them level pegging. And ultimately, I think going forward, I see the South of Scotland League as being a tier below where it is right now. So, as things develop, ideally I think you've got a West of Scotland Premier League comes in, and the South of Scotland would be a feeder into that. And you could also have another West feeder into it. But a lot of the teams in the South of Scotland League, they're quite happy where they are. They've got their lot. And you go back to the example of Wigton. When Wigton won that league, the team fell apart because they didn't want to go up. And I think they ultimately lost their licence as well, but they went into abeyance for a year. You look at teams like Three Rovers, who were in the Lowland early doors. Ultimately, they decided to drop down of their own accord because there was no compulsory relegation that year. But they decided to go back to the South because they felt like they couldn't compete. They were quite comfortable in that South League. St Cuthbert's didn't exactly do what they had to do to get their licence when they had a chance of promotion. So there are teams in there like Bonnyton are really ambitious. They want to get up. But it's not quite the same story as East of Scotland, where before the junior influx, the East of Scotland and South of Scotland had a bit of parity there, I would say. Since the influx of the juniors, it's just night and day. That you've got so many ambitious teams in that East of Scotland League whose ambition is to go as high as they can go. And the licensing shows that almost that whole East of Scotland Premier Division has either got a licence or they're working towards it now, which is fantastic for the future of this level of football. But we need a solution, and whether that be what has been kind of floated previously, a Lowland League 2, personally I'm not in favour of that. I know it is an idea that's gone out there. Whether it be a West of Scotland Premier League that the East of Scotland have actually said they would help get off the ground and get running, bear in mind. But to do that, you would need a guaranteed buy-in, a certain amount of junior teams to jump in, as well as the likes of Glasgow Uni and so on, who are already licensed. That's the impasse for that, and that's the logjam that needs to be broken. As soon as we get a bit of movement on the West, these things will follow in pretty quick order, I'd imagine, because the Lowland itself is quite a progressive league and they will be open to the change and open to further relegation if it's the right thing to do.
Agreed, mate. And obviously I don't think we want to be doing a Lowland League 2 catch-up, so to be a bit selfish there, but no, you're spot on, Derek. It's a tough one. I think at the moment the league's fine as it is. I think if there's too much influx of junior teams, and it's hard to really say how it would pan out, but obviously from I think everyone's expectations, there is going to be a bit of, if there is going to be a South of Scotland, East of Scotland playoff the next few years, I think the favourite would be the East of Scotland team, given the quality in that league. And there is a fair bit of teams that can do well, that would do well in the Lowland League, but the problem we have is obviously that it's not just the one feeder league, it's both of them at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not really the fault of anyone that we are where we are.
Yep.
We've made so much progress that gets forgotten quite a lot. There's still people that don't realise that there is progression from the Highland and Lowland leagues into the leagues, which blows my mind still. Like, people still ask me about why Cove Rangers are in League 2 this year, or where did Edinburgh City come from. Like, I don't think the SFA's done a good enough job of promoting the traction now, because potentially a team in the East of Scotland second tier with a club licence could go all the way up the leagues, which is brilliant for the game. It's a great thing to kind of promote, and like they've done a decent job with promoting the likes of Bonnie Rig Rose being a community club with the award they won and the Excellence Award. But there's some things that it's an easy good news story for the SFA to promote, and they've not done it, and I don't know why. It'd be the easiest thing in the world to say, look what we've helped to do, even though they've just put the groundwork there and let other people do it, essentially. But yeah, we need to be careful not to just be constantly negative about our football, and this is something that isn't just this issue, it's in general in Scottish football. We've got a tendency to be very negative about ourselves, and it doesn't do our league any favours, our leagues any favours. So we're not far away from a solution. We just need to get heads around the table, get egos out the door, get agendas out the door. It's the same old story with Scottish football, isn't it? But get people around the table that want to make progress, hash it out, get it done.
Absolutely. It was mentioned before, but I think we're both fans of even extending the league football in terms of more than 10 or 12 teams in the league. I mean, that's, if you're looking about even the West Juniors and at Lowland League level, there's just too many ambitious teams not to be in league football, I would say.
Yeah, and I think this could be a whole entire podcast on the state of Scottish football and the future of it. But if you'd want to hear that, by the way, from the two of us, and maybe Sean as well, give us a shout, because it's something we'll do. But yeah, there's all sorts of changes we can look at down the line, but the big logjam that needs to get cleared first is the issue in the West, especially with the junior side of things, because we saw how quickly it happened in the East. It took 2 teams to trigger it, and suddenly everyone was jumping. So if Clydebank and Kilwinning, I think those 2 are the most likely to trigger something. Clydebank's fans have already voted to join the pyramid again, by hook or by crook. They'll find a way to do it. And they were hoping the junior leagues would fall in, basically. But if the 2 of them get fed up with lack of progress and start making moves, who knows? We'll see. But we need to get egos out of the room and get something done, basically.